And this is part of our well-nourished cleanse program. So we are going to be working on the digestion. All right. So when we talk about having a well-nourished life, nourishment also means removing the toxins. And so that's part of our cleanse. So we'll be doing a lot of twisting today. I say that because if you are pregnant, then you do not want to be doing all of the twists. You can still be participating in the breathing the same, so disclaimer there. Also, if you know that you have any issues or irritations that happen with your spine, just keep the belly button forward and don't twist quite as deep unless you know you're not supposed to twist. So I'm trusting you that you're using your best judgment, as I am not with you in person. So let's start in seated. Please make any modifications that you need, such as if this is hard to sit on the floor, then place a block under your bottom, a couple pillows or some blankets. Place our hands on our knees. And an important factor in digestion is breathing. So as we inhale, lift up through the chest for our seated cat-cow. And as we exhale, pulling that belly button in and rounding. Inhale, lift. And exhale, round. And you can do this in through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. However, if you want to create a little bit more heat to stimulate some digestion, we can take that big exhale through the mouth, almost like you're fogging up a window. And in yoga, these cleansing movements are called kriyas. And so we can take this one even further if you'd like to. The palms open up, and then we'll take the tops of the hands towards each other as we exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going to speed this one up. So everything I offer is just a suggestion. If you feel good or if you feel like you're already at your edge, it's that edge of discomfort where you're at, then stay with this posture. If you'd like to take it to the next level, you can. So we'll do this as a inhale, exhale. So we're going to focus more on that exhale. Through the pursed lips. We really want to pull that belly button in tight as if you were doing a crunch. Big puff of exhale. Keep it going. If the arms get tired, just bring them back to the knees. 2 more. Last one. Bring the hands down. Take a moment. Realign the spine. And then we'll take opposite hand to knee. Don't worry which side. We'll go to the other side next. Cupped fingers or Spider-Man fingers in the back. Reach up on that inhale. And as we exhale, turn through the core. So we don't want to pull ourselves. We want the abdomen to be doing the work for us. So we're wringing out, we're twisting through that digestive system. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist and turn. Again, not pulling, so the hands are very gentle. You can add more twist into the spine by turning and looking over that back shoulder. One more deep breath. Inhale up. Exhale, twist and turn. And then gently bring yourself back to center. And just take a moment and notice how your right and left side feel. And then we're going to do that kriya again. So we inhale, open. Take it slow or take it fast. Focus on the exhale. Pull the belly button in. Big crunch. If your legs are getting tired or if your hips are getting tight, cross the legs in the other direction. And you've got 5, 4, keep pulling that belly button in, big puff of exhale, and 2, and 1. Let the hands land, take a breath, maybe you wiggle it out. And then we're crossing in the other direction, so the other hand comes to the opposite knee. Cupped fingers again, we're not pulling and twisting. It's just gently laid there. We really want that breath to assist the body and starting to work and activate that core to twist. So inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist and turn. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist and turn. Tightening through that core, and even if you don't feel like you're moving that far, it's totally fine as long as you're activating those core muscles. Twisting and turning. Take another deep breath, and then releasing, and then from here, we're just going to let ourselves crawl out. You might have your hands up high and just letting the head drop. That's totally fine if you're already here. Or some of us may like to fall even heavier. Find a deep breath. Allow yourself to inflate the ribs. So you're feeling that breath in your back. Maybe give it a little wiggle. And just notice the belly, the abdomen area. Most of us are doing the cleanse because maybe we have a little extra fluff. I know a lot of us have that COVID-19 sitting on the front. But notice how much of it is the fluff, and notice how much of it is stuck digestion. And that stuck digestion is there because when we're under stress, our digestion slows. That's why this is so important. Slowly climb the hands back in, and then we're taking the feet out front. So we're working on this boat pose. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see me. And so in this boat pose, we really want to scoop the abdomen in. So it's kind of like an ice cream scooper came in and scooped. We do not want this rounding. So lift yourself up. You should not feel yourself on the tailbone. You should feel yourself on the sits bones. Lift up through the chest, and this may be your furthest, and that is okay. Second option would be to lift one foot and then lift the other. Focus more on the core here rather than the hips and the psoas. So we really want that chest lifted up and the core tight. And again, you can have that alternation, or you might lift through both. If you're here, refrain from this bowed leg. So we're not in a squatting position. Our knees are in line with the ankles, in line with the toes. So we do have this slight inner line squeeze so that we're not just, and then lift up through the chest. Exhale, tighten. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tighten. And refrain from dropping back. Keep it up. So we want this nice long spine, this more V shape. You can tap down and reset as much as you need. And then we're going to have some fun with it. Reach out and then bring it in. And so variation would be switching feet. Or maybe you're just like, I'm done for the moment. That's okay too. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. See, I have a core underneath there, and there's muscles underneath the COVID-19. Swoop the legs around back and come into your tabletop. Take a moment to just let your hips sway side to side. Swaying side to side. If your wrists feel tender, you can take it into fists. Try to keep the shoulders over the wrists. So maybe a slight lean forward. And then the knees are underneath the hips. We'll take it into our cat-cow here. So we're inhaling and exhaling. And so as we find the breath and the movement through the spine, we are loosening up the nervous system, which is wrapped all through the spine and branching out. And So we're creating this comfort, ease, and allowing ourselves to move into that rest and digest. And then from here, we're going to take the right knee and let's do some little circles. So this is our evening flow, so we won't be doing those big sun salutations. But we're going to stay close to the ground, and we'll have another class for that morning. Rotate the hip in the opposite direction. And then we're going to bring that foot around to the front. And so we'll be in a kneeling position. You can fold your mat over for extra cushion. Place a pillow under your knee if you need it. And rise up. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. And so I've got one knee down, one foot on the floor. And I want to try to keep that knee over the ankle. Level the hips out. Breathe. And so we're stretching through that psoas. So the knee that is on the floor, we're feeling that lengthening. And the psoas is important for our digestion because it gets tight, it wraps around all of the digestive organs. So I'm going to try to lengthen it. Just breathe into that hip, into that knee, and really notice, can you level, can you find some ease, some sukha in this posture. Notice your shoulders. And let's inhale, reach up. And then just bring the hands down. Maybe you'd like to drop them straight down. Take whatever feels good for you. So maybe you want to keep them out because you need the movement in the shoulders. Just notice what you're needing. So these more lateral movements will give us more creativity, more passion. Or maybe you'd like some more direction, more focus. You can move more in this frontal area. Just notice what you need, and as you're there, you're taking these breaths. Keep noticing the hips. Breathe. And that next one, as the hands come down, we're going to start to shift ourselves forward. So that psoas is going to get an even bigger stretch. So right down that front. And just notice your breath. Up. We're going to take this into a twist. So opposite hand to knee. The other hand's going to come around back, and I'm just going to place the top of my hand behind my back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist, turn. Remember to twist through the core. Look over that back shoulder. Deep, steady breaths. Release yourself back to center. Go ahead and let the hands come down. And then we're going to move that front foot back. Go ahead and step yourself into a child's pose or shift yourself into a child's pose. So the knees can be as wide as you'd like. You can drop your elbows if you need to be higher up. Let the head drop. And so here we really want the spine to relax and round. You can even place a block under your forehead. So create some ease, and I'm going to do fists. Melt into the floor if possible. And bring yourself slowly back up with your next inhale, push into the floor. Steady yourself back into this tabletop. We're going to take that right side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, not all the way through yet. Just a twist and reach. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist and reach. One more time. And on this next one, we're going to land, pushing all the way through. Rest onto that shoulder and side of the head. And this is where you might be higher up. You might drop into the elbow. Some modifications that you can make. Take a deep, steady breath. See if you can take that to a 4 count breath. Inhale for 4. And exhale for 4. Push with that stable hand as you inhale to lift yourself up. And exhale to settle. Again, fist if you need. We're going to center that right leg. Take the left knee in big circles. Warming up that hip. Find your breath. Find your sturdiness. And then rotate that hip in the other direction, spinning it forward. And then we'll spin that knee all the way through. Plant that front foot. Guide yourself up. And as we arrive, just leveling out the hips. Cushioning that knee if needed. Drop the shoulders. And we begin with just the breath. So inhale, reach up. And again, various options. You can play and try different ones. Maybe you want to take some more creative movement. Maybe you want that more direct movement. Maybe you want to try all of them. So playfulness creates a lot of healing, not only for the mind and our neuroplasticity, but also just for the creative energy that flows through us. It allows us to release and let go. It allows us to breathe, be in the present moment. Just keep noticing the hips, releasing through them. We'll do one more breath. And on that exhale, we'll allow ourselves to shift forward and get a bigger stretch through that. So it's a really big plant into that foot. You take it to wherever you need it. Breathe into it. So I definitely noticed for me, this psoas is so much tighter than my other one. I wouldn't have noticed that unless we had done yoga class together. So thank you for being here with me. Notice any tension. And as we come out of that one, we're going to come up to come back into our twist. So push into that foot. Use any assistance as needed. We'll take that opposite hand to knee. Other hand, top of the hand comes around back. And inhale, lift. Exhale, twist and turn. Inhale to lift. Exhale, twist and turn. One more breath. Back to center, hands come down, and then just move that front foot back to the back. Take the knees wide, come into your child's pose. Again, modify as needed, breathe into it. You can wiggle out your wrist if needed. We'll take 3 more breaths here. As we inhale on that next one, start to push into the floor and inhale yourself up. Use the breath to assist you. We have those twists through the arms. So we're taking the left hand this time. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, twist through. Just a little push. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist through. One more time. And on this next one, we push all the way through. And then begin to land on that shoulder. Again, modification can be just coming into the elbow. And breathe here. Notice where you feel your breath the most. And on that next inhale, we push into the floor. Guide yourself up. We come onto our bottom. We're going to take one leg out and one leg in. So my foot is just resting on the inside of my thigh. And if you'd like to put a block or anything you need to help support this knee, you can. We have a very gentle twist as we begin to aim ourselves forward towards that foot. This bent knee is going to cause us to rotate to center. But we're going to rotate in. You can just walk your hands down and just find a comfortable position where you're right at the edge, where it's not too uncomfortable, but you feel a little bit of a push. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. So we don't want to cause too much stress in the low back. So you can be up as high as you need as we work on that crease, that digestion, this rhythmic breath. If you'd like, you can stay with this breath, or you can rest into this. Another deep breath. Use your hands to assist you, even if you don't feel like you need it. Still use the hands. Give yourself that support. We're taking opposite hand to knee. Cupped fingers in the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rotating through the core. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rotate. One more time. Releasing and coming through. From here, most of us might not be able to reach the opposite hand to the outside of the foot, and that's okay. I have short legs. I say I'm at a slight advantage. You can bring it as high up as the knee or just to that thigh and add support here with that inhale, lift, exhale, twist. You're not going to move very far, and that's okay. Now it looks a little different when we're up high, or if you'd like to reach for the outside of the foot, it takes a lot deeper of a twist, but it can pull on the low back. If your low back does not enjoy that, or it gets irritated easily, stay up high for this one. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. So you choose where you'd like to land. One more deep breath. Guide yourself up. Use the hands, even if you feel like you don't need it. Switching legs. And try to refrain. I know there's some of us, if we've been practicing yoga for a while, they would always say, move the fleshy parts out of the way. They're there for a reason, to give you cushion. So keep them there, leave them there. Give it a little wiggle and just gush into it if you need to. Alright, so we're starting with just centering ourselves. Maybe you'd like to just walk the fingers down. And just find yourself in a comfortable position where we're not pushing too much. And we can allow that breath to be the guide. So that inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Almost like you're bobbing in water. Riding the waves of the ocean, the soothing feeling of inhale and exhale. Just notice what you notice here. Notice, can you have this upward lift of the belly? Can you focus on pulling that belly button in as if we had a corset that was squeezing the intestines? Activating that core. Of course, if it gets tired, give it a break and then come back to it. If you'd like to rest into it or keep with that upward lift. Notice what you need. One more deep breath. Guide yourself up. Use the hands. Taking that easy twist first, so hand to opposite hand to knee. Cupped fingers. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist and turn. Remember, we're twisting through the core. We're working on releasing any toxins that are just sitting in our intestines. They're reabsorbing back into the body. They can cause inflammation, aches, and pains. We want to release them. So one of the added benefits is weight loss, but inflammation is really the biggest reason why. Slowly release back to center, and again, those options of thigh about halfway down or opposite hand to the outside of the foot. Notice what good feels good for you. Notice if you're pushing past your comfort limit. So this isn't a competition. This isn't how far can we go into the pose or pushing and pulling ourselves there. This is also making sure that we feel good and honor our body as well. Notice that breath, that upward lift, and exhale, twisting through the core. And sometimes our low back can get irritated, especially if we do have a lot of buildup. So the twisting causes that buildup to put extra pressure in the low back. So it's even more important for us to eliminate. One more deep breath. And then guiding yourself up. Use those hands for support. Bring your feet together. You can take this into a cobbler's pose. You can grab onto the ankles, onto the toes. You can even push your thumbs into the center of the foot and open the feet up. Allow yourself to be here for a moment. Deep breaths. And some of us may be forced to stay up tall, and that is okay. You can still have this almost bobbing breath with this inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Or some of us might like to just let the head drop and just sink into it. Notice anything that your body's still craving. Maybe you'd like to loosen out the spine. And so tonight is just a gentle home practice. Something that's accessible and doable. It's a little bit more sensitive to time. As we move through the evening, the most important part, start to guide yourself up, slide yourself out, keep your feet on the floor and the knees bent. So the most important thing here towards the evening is really stimulating the digestion, getting in the twists, but also allowing yourself to prepare for relaxation in bed. And so notice here your low back might be feeling it with all of those twists. We're going to take the right foot up, and we're going to draw some little circles. So we're using that low core. And then in the other direction. And we're going to cross that foot over onto the opposite knee. And just take some gentle rocking, loosening out that low back. We're also still getting some more twists. And you be gentle with this. So those big twists might feel good. But if your low back is irritated easily, again, try to refrain from that and just do these more subtle ones, breathing into yourself. Any of these, feel free to hold. And again, if your lower back's a little achy, there is a certain degree of achiness that will come. It will subside, so it will go away. The most important thing here is to keep breathing. So we're allowing ourselves to waken up all of this area. And so if you start to hear any gurgling, we're starting to feel some release happening. That is fantastic. Those deep breaths will also help facilitate that as well. Go ahead and release that foot. We'll take the other foot up. Toes towards ceiling, circling in one direction. And you can place your hands on your belly. Feel the core working just by doing these little leg circles. So you don't have to do crunches for everything. Take it in the other direction. So we can stimulate that lower core through other activities. Sit-ups and crunches. We don't really have to do those. There's many other things that we could be doing. Cross that foot over. And then just let yourself rock. Side to side. Again, you can make them big, you can make them small. Honor your body. Deep, steady breaths are the most important thing. And again, that low back will start to release. The deep breaths will help. And we'll be coming into our big twist next. So placing that foot back on the floor. Take your right knee in, pull it in towards your chest. And so we're stimulating digestion even by pulling this knee in. Extend that other leg out. And then we're going to bring this top knee over and across the body for a twist. Then both arms can come out. Take it into a T. And we can turn and look in the opposite direction to add even further twist to the spine. Deep breaths. Notice where you can release in the chest, and the ribs, and the glutes, hips, knees, feet, toes. Deep breathing. And we'll stay here for about 5 more breaths. On your next inhale, pull that knee towards your chest first. Tighten up your core, and then move back to center to protect that low back. Place that foot on the floor, and then slowly bring up the other knee. Pull it in, give it a big squeeze. Again, that's stimulating the digestion as well. And then we'll slide the other leg out. Bringing this left knee, or opposite as last time, across the body. And then opening up the arms into a T. Deep breaths. About 5 more breaths here. Notice where you can release tension. And we'll roll towards that knee, curling inwards and then coming back to center. Bring both knees in, and this can be to your comfort level. Again, we're pushing on the intestines and then releasing. You can place any bolsters underneath of your knees if you need relief. So especially if your low back gets achy, you may want to have something that goes right underneath the knees, some pillows. You could also place a blanket across you if you're feeling a little chilly. And then we'll have the palms facing up. And then just adjust. Take your legs as wide as you'd like. And as we begin and we prepare, you can wiggle, you can tense and release. You can take any movements with the mouth, the face, the jaw, the neck. You could shake it out and then soften. And as you rest here in Savasana, I'm going to come up, but you stay. That way I can talk to you and make sure that you hear. So as you rest into Savasana, you can feel free to close your eyes. And we'll begin with just feeling at the top of the head. Notice the center of your forehead, allow it to expand. Feeling the eyes, allowing them to rest in the sockets. Relaxing through the jaw. You can even move the lower jaw around, giving it a little wiggle, and let it soften as the tongue rests gently in the mouth. Feel the neck and the throat. Feel the shoulders and the collarbone. Allow your upper back to melt into the floor as the collarbone expands and the heart opens. Feel your ribs as you breathe deep. Feel them expand. Allow your breath to be big and audible so you can hear it. You can even do a couple sighs if you'd like to inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. Let's try one more. Releasing through the waist. You might even imagine your intestines and just the energy flow circulating and the snake-like movement as it travels all the way through. Imagining the digestion moving, gravitating downward with this steady breath, feeling, seeing whatever tools that your mind likes to use. Back and forth, rocking movement as we travel our focus, our energy through the intestines, through the abdomen, down into the lower portion, the colon, feeling release and relief through the low back. This can also create pressure on the bladder regions. So as we release all of this, we will gain so much freedom. Freedom to twist, freedom to move, freedom to absorb more nutrients. Letting that travel all the way down, feeling it in our root chakra at the tip of our tailbone, and feel that release, that opening through the tip of the tailbone. Relaxing any of those perineal muscles. Allowing yourself to breathe. To open up, to release, to relax. And rest here for about 1 more minute. Just breathing in and out. In and out. Releasing and relaxing. Creating freedom. Creating space. That you are whole. You are full. That just because we create empty space does not mean that we need to fill it with more. That we need the space for freedom. We need the space for movement. Just as we would like to have space in our house to move, to dance, to do yoga. We're creating that space within us for freedom, for movement. Allowing yourself to release, keep noticing if the tip of the tailbone clenches or retreats. Allow it to expand and open back up. This is our time to teach it, to reprogram it. To tell it that we are safe. That our body is our home. And right now we're just doing some cleansing. Cleaning out anything that's stuck, anything that's no longer used. Allowing us to reorganize our energy. On your next breath, take a big inhale. And on the next exhale, begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. We'll begin to reach the hands overhead. Kick the feet long, big stretch, tense, inhale. Exhale, release. Begin to roll over, curling up. Move yourself into a ball on the side of your body. Rest there for a moment. Find your breath settle. Find that transition. That top hand presses into the floor with a strong hand, pushing, lifting with an inhale. Guide yourself up. And however you need, guiding yourself back into seated position. Come into breath. And that cleansing is all about the nourishment. Cleansing is about creating space, creating freedom. The space to add in all of the healthy desires, all of the freedom, all of the peace. Choose whatever word resonates with you that you would like space to infuse into. Love, hope, peace, gratitude. We'll inhale, reach our hands up, bringing our hands together up high, and then sliding them down into our heart. Take another deep breath, saying that word inside your mind, and if possible, say it out loud. Bowing to your higher, wiser self. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me in this cleansing, releasing evening yoga practice. Allow yourself, if you need, to lay back down and continue Savasana, or to take some time and meditate. Allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to catch yourself as many times as you need when you're in tension, and then just breathe back into it. That tension creates this trapped feeling in our gut, and we really need it open and flowing.